Yes, people, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Transfer Roundup. This is the episode where it's just a bit different. I'm going to be talking about the big six clubs in the Premier League. So Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City. And I'm going to also be talking about just their transfers, rating their windows from between 1 to 10. And also we're going to be talking about which transfer of each team excites me the most. So if you're interested, stay along and jump into it with me. So let's talk about Liverpool first, because a lot of these content creators, podcasters, media fanatics, all of them talking about Liverpool must win the league. Liverpool have to win the league. They spend so much money this transfer window. Guys, let's not forget Liverpool won the league last season, spending zero to little no money. So on average, if we really think about it, them spending 400 million this summer. In the last 2 seasons, they've spent 200 million each window, and they have a Premier League to show for it. Now this season, they're probably favourites again to win the Premier League after spending so much money. So they've actually shown the league that with spending 200 million every summer, you should be able to win the Premier League. Now you have teams like Manchester United, who just spent just 200 million alone on Sesko, Konya and Mbeumo. So, sometimes we have to be honest about how the market is going. Now, yes, they've broken the transfer market for Isaac and Wirtz, and it's okay, I get it. But sometimes we really need to look at the reality of what's happening. Now, Alexander Isaac, a Florian Wirtz, a Hugo Ekitike have made their front line a lot more explosive. You have players like Frimpong coming in and Kerkez, two of the best wing backs in the world. But I would not say Frimpong, as how people are saying, is the best right back in the world. Let's not always let's rate people at where they are. I don't think Frimpong is even better than Walker Peters, and I've said this many times. I don't think he might. What does he do that Kyle Walker Peters can't do? Run with the ball, Kyle Walker Peters can do. Link up play, Kyle Walker Peters. He's probably a bit faster than Kyle Walker Peters, but let's not sit down here and overhype certain players based on the hype that we just want to give them. Now, out of all of these buys that Liverpool had, the most exciting one for me is Giovanni Leone from Parma. Left-footed, centre-back, high quality. Only cost them £26 million. So it was a nice buy. And they nearly got Guy for nearly the same amount of money, which means they would have replaced both of their centre-backs or even made them compete with two younger centre-backs in Guy and Leone for only around £50 million. So you have a Van Dijk replacement, because I do think Leone is that good. And you have a Guy, which is probably not as good as people think he is, but he's good enough to play for Liverpool in a squad rotation. So what do I rate their transfer window out of 10? I would say I would give Liverpool a 9 out of 10. If Liverpool was to pull off getting another midfielder or getting another right back into the team, because I don't think they're as happy with Conor Bradley. I think they kept Conor Bradley because 1, he's an academy product. 2, he's not as bad. And having a player like a Szoboszlai or Endo who can play out there, because they play with an inverted right back, that it kind of works for them to be able to not go after a right back. But if they got a right back, Liverpool would have been a dangerous team, fully complete, everything going forward. All talking about fully complete, here's you have another team like Arsenal, who spent a lot of money in this window. Arsenal have a chance to compete for the Premier League this season, as they have for the last 2 seasons, to be fair. I banter them a lot about coming second, but it is a good achievement. It's not maybe an achievement that they should be as proud of as what they are, but it is a good achievement in terms of competing for the league, being around it, because if you're not playing the lottery, you can't win the ticket, you can't win the prize. So they are playing in the lottery, they are trying to win the prize, but they're just falling short because they're not getting the fine edges, and I just don't think Arteta is good enough. But that is not what this video is about. This is just us to just talk about what we think about the window. Now, you see players like Gyökeres, Marcus Zubimendi, Norgard, Madueke, Mosquera, Eze coming into the club. Apparently, with all those buys, it's rumored to be around £250 million, which is not bad for all that quality I just called. Now, not even do you bring up a good quality backup goalkeeper in Kepa, but you have a nice player in Christian Norgard that I think that transfer has gone under the radar, because I don't think he'll play much in the Arteta team, but I think he'll have such a big role in certain games that people are going to actually respect Norgard for the player that he is. The most exciting one for me out of all those buys, I would say, is either the Mosquera or the Eze. Now, why the Eze tips it for me is because I'm being biased and he's just one of my favorite players. But Christian Mosquera is a massive buy for Arsenal. That guy's ceiling is high. Y'all think Saliba's good? When this guy hits form, trust me, I'm telling you, on the ball, this guy is amazing. Defensively, he's really good. He's just young at the moment, feeling out his feet. But for me, that acquisition is high ceiling for that player. But Eze excites me the most. Not because everyone's talking about Eze, but Eze glides on the pitch. Eze doesn't get the numbers that he deserves at the quality of player that he is. For how I enjoy watching Eze, I wish he scored more goals on the end of the things that he does, because oh my god, man, that guy can really play football. You know, when somebody just enjoys being a really good player, then that's all they can be, and you can't really hurt or hate on a player that's that good. Now, when you talk about hate though, you have to talk about the most hated club, which is Manchester United. Now, United bought, as I mentioned before, a Sesko, a Cunha, a Mbeumo. Quality players. You know, Sesko and Cunha had really good starts to the season, although Cunha got a bit of an injury. I think Mbeumo, now he's hit form, scoring 2 goals in the last 2 games. He's going to be a problem. Even watching him against Burnley, and yes, people are going to say Burnley, yet they still call the Premier League the hardest league in the world. Yes. But, you know, people will say Burnley. But anyway, that is the game. They are a part of the competition. And if you don't beat Burnley, you can't win the Premier League. You know what I mean? So you have to beat everybody to win the Premier League. So Mbeumo damaged Burnley. I swear he could have had 4 assists and like 2 goals. The guy really was just creating chances for fun. And we don't need Mbeumo to be good every game. But if he can play against all the teams except the top 6 and be the best player, and then we have a player like a Fernandes, a Cunha, who's the best player against the bigger teams, bro, it's fine. You do you, Mbeumo. You slap up those teams for us to get the 3 points, because here what? There are only 6 really big teams, 7 really top teams, when we really think about it. The rest of the teams no one considers top teams, okay? So we can say, okay, maybe 9 top teams in the Premier League. The top 6, and then we'll add Aston Villa, Newcastle, and who else? I don't really see anybody else being added into that list of top clubs. So within that now, we have to be aware that these transfers, these players and these guys, they need to beat a lot more teams that aren't considered the top clubs in the Premier League. So that's why you need players like Mbeumo and them who would slap these teams up. So Sesko needs a bit more time. And Sen-Lamens is a young goalkeeper who was bought to come into the rotation. Now everyone's saying, but why Manchester United still have 4 goalkeepers? What are they going to do? Tom Heaton basically has picked up the role of somewhat of a senior goalkeeper, soon to be coach around the place. Then you have Onana and Altai, who's probably battling to be the number 1. While Sen-Lamens is also there to try to be the number 1. But he's just a young prodigy. He's just a young player on the 2 goalkeepers with a little bit more experience. Now, how can you blame the club for bringing in a young goalkeeper into the club? Because y'all decided that you wanted Martinez. Is Martinez better for the club? No. Is Martinez better for the personality, the locker room? No, he's not. He would come there and mess shit up. Imagine a Ruben Amorim with the mentality of a Martinez. Martinez clash with Unai Emery all the time. Imagine what he would do with Ruben Amorim. We all know Amorim. We all know the way Amorim thinks. And maybe Martinez is somewhat an Amorim player. I do see that as well. Just like some players with big characters are a Mourinho player. But some also fall out for Mourinho. Pogba, i.e. fall out with Mourinho. Big characters. So it doesn't always mesh together. But what made Manchester United's transfer window look good, and what made it for me even a better window, is the fact that we got, not only did we send a lot of players out on loan in terms of those that they didn't want, but they also created a structure within that they sent players on loan with the mindset of getting money for them in a further window, and also good sell-on clauses. But not only that, for bringing some of them back into the club to play and be a part of a successful Manchester United, like a Toby Collier, like a Retail Vitak. You know, all these guys who I was sent out to come and develop is going to be good for the team. So that for me raised their window, Manchester United window, from a 7 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10. Now, if they got me a Baleba, they would have gotten a 9 out of 10. Because Baleba, maybe they wouldn't even gotten a 10 out of 10. Because they brought in a young goalkeeper to compete with the other two. So they probably would have gotten out of 10 out of 10 for me. Really and true. A 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. They actually deserved it, because what the club has done from where the club was to where they are now, structurally, being able to spend money after good players, going after every player that we want, not falling short for any player that wasn't on the books. You know, everything made sense. And people will hate and say, oh, we should get a midfielder, we should have gotten this. But what we should have done is exactly what we did. And that is to, one, get rid of the bad wood, the bad eggs, bring in nice quality, people that want to play for Manchester United, humble, feel like this is the next step in their life to go forward. Now, I forgot to rate Arsenal's window, but also I would have given Arsenal an 8 out of 10, because Arsenal did buy a lot of quality players. And yes, I do feel that they should compete for the title and they should be able to be up there with the best. But I also can just always this manager issue. Arteta is definitely punching up now with this quality of this team. And if he doesn't win anything with this team, he has to go. He has got to go. And I see a lot of Arsenal fans trying to say, oh, he doesn't need to go. Why would you not get rid of a manager who have spent nearly $1 billion over the last 6 years and haven't won you one trophy? Stop counting the FA Cup. And even if we count the FA Cup, fine, it happened at the starting of his tenure. So it's not like he wouldn't win anything, then he won an FA Cup, then he didn't win anything. He actually won just at the start and then hasn't won anything since then. So actually, if you think about it, your progression based on achievements have been downward, but your projection based on quality and development is on an upward trajectory. So they two things can be right at the same time. Now, talking about two things, let's talk about Chelsea and the way they move like a two thing on the market. You know, while Chelsea is just pulling players out of a bag like it's a lucky dip, Chelsea is also throwing players away in the trash. Look how they treat Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling's literally at the club abandoned. They've told him, bro, you gotta go. And he says, I want this paycheck, so fuck off. And yo, if for one thing me make I know something on the stream here right now, right? Jamaican people now play with their money, brother. So this mentality, Caribbean people now play with their money. So this mentality that Chelsea believe that a yard man they just go walk away from them kind of euro dollar, the foreign boy money. They believe their yard man a walk away from their foreign boy money to blood clot. You boy think again. Think again. Them man now walk away from them kind of money. You know what the people call the money? Foreign money, brother. You know, Ryan Sterling in Jamaica right now, multi-million. Hey, he probably a billionaire right now in Jamaica. You think that man give it that money? Think again, people. Ryan Sterling leaving Chelsea. So Top Bowley maybe believe his brain big. But this is one fine he gotta have a take and really take. Because you know they don't mind taking fines from the Premier League now. Chelsea take fines from the Premier League to bring players in. They're like, fuck it. If we get a £3 million fine, but we be able to go win the Club World Cup and make nearly 300-400 million. Yo, Chelsea makes so much money, right? That they just give away their proceedings to Diego Jota family. Which are the Premier League club competing with all those people like the Uniteds, the Arsenals, the Cities, the Liverpools, and the madness. The Tottenhams, all these teams. How is Chelsea just giving away prize money for fun while they have to go and buy and sell players in the market? You know they have money. You know they have money. If you broke and you had $10, you don't go to the pub and say drinks on me. You know what I mean? You don't go to a dinner with your friends and like, yo, don't worry, everything on me, put it on my tab. You don't start a tab at the bar. You know what I mean? Never start a tab at a bar anyway. But you don't start a tab at a bar. You know you do. You can't afford it. You say you can't afford it. You don't put yourself in that position. So the mere fact that Chelsea can give away prize money while still buying players for inflated prices and selling their players for inflated prices. Bro, you have to commend their model. I respect it. I respect it. Now, some of the players that they brought in, as we know, we saw the hot fire player in the Club World Cup in Estevo. We saw Jamie Gittins come in. Liam Delap needs some time. He's not the finished article, but he can be the finished article. Just give that guy some time. He can be a really good player. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. And the most exciting one for me is Alejandro Garnacho. Him and João Pedro are going to be a problem, people. Especially in transition when people like Garnacho and João Pedro and Cole Palmer and Estevio start running with you in transition. Be careful. Chelsea is going to be a problem this season now. People are talking about Chelsea. Oh yeah, they fight for top 4 and Liverpool guaranteed to win the trophy. I'm telling you all. Chelsea is going to be a problem after the next 10 games. You see, United and Chelsea, do not sleep on those teams. Do not sleep on those teams this season. Now, based on the transfers, outgoings, Chelsea had some really big sales. Chelsea sold, just 3-4 players alone brought in over £120 million for Chelsea. Madueke, nearly 50 million. João Felix, 26 million. Petrovic to Bournemouth, 25 million. Kerry Jules we hauled to Everton for 25 million plus add-ons. Yo, Leslie Ukuchukwu to Burnley. Amanya Broha, 20. Bro, Chelsea don't sell players on to $25 million. What a joke, Kita. So every 4 players these people sell, they guarantee nearly £100 million. Just under or just. This model is a model that we actually probably should study after this transfer window because it's excellent. And for the way Chelsea do business, what I find it's key as well is they are getting money from Premier League clubs. So you have Man City paying them for a player, Burnley paying them for a player, another player, Everton. So that's 3 Premier League clubs, 4 Bournemouth, 5 Arsenal with two of them. So they've sold 7 of their players in the Premier League. How many have they bought in the Prem? 1, 2, 3. 3 players from the Prem. Delap, Pedro, Garnacho. Everybody else come from outside the Prem. So Chelsea have a real good model now. They're selling to their rivals, which means they're taking out of the kitty of their competition. Even if they're buying from their competition, they're getting more from their competition than they are buying from their competition. So it's a good model for Chelsea to have. And I rate their window at 8 out of 10 because I'm very excited to see Garnacho and João Pedro play together. I just know watching how the both of them play in transition. And with the kind of football Chelsea play, they're going to be a problem. Now down to the other side of Manchester, they're having problems being at the bottom of the league. But they also brought in some really good talent. Tijani Reinders is one of my favorite midfielders in the world. One of my favorite left backs in the world in Ait Nouri. Oh, what a player. Did you all see Ait Nouri and Cunha link up at Wolves? For me, Ait Nouri made Cunha look good as well as Cunha made Ait Nouri look good now. The two of them together, if I was United, that would have been my package. Ait Nouri and Cunha together for 100 million. Real talk. That would have been straight to Wolves. Give me both of these players for 100 million. Because they are quality. Remember, I tell you, when Ait Nouri settles in at City, he's going to be a problem. When he learns to invert and use that space, he comes inside to drive through instead of always overlapping. Remember, I tell y'all, he's going to be a problem. Now, you also saw Ryan Cherky coming and Giovanni Donnarumma. Luigi! Yes, my boy. Now, I said it many times. Edison is good, but Donnarumma, he's a different animal. And I think City is going... I want to see how City plays now with a goalkeeper that's not so exceptional on the field. Are they going to take the ball off his feet like what PSG do and force their centre-backs to play more on the ball? Now, John Stones can do it if he stays fit. Diaz can do it if he stays fit. So, I'm not too concerned about City in that part of them having players who can take the ball off of Donnarumma feet. And especially if Rodrigo gets fit, you have a Nico Gonzalez who can fit in there and even play a double pivot sometimes with both of them. You can take the ball off of Donnarumma foot. Also, taking the ball off his foot might force you to even play higher up the pitch, which may force you to play more in transition, which I think will make you even more dangerous. And then Donnarumma on those one-on-one saves, oh my God. You can have a goalkeeper that can play one-on-one. It's beautiful. And I rate this window for sure, this City window, at 8 out of 10 solid. Tijani Reinders alone makes it a 6 out of 10 for my biasness. And then we go straight down into Tottenham. Xavi Simons, Kudus, Matthias Tell. Exciting names. Now, Matthias signed permanently, but he was there last season. Xavi Simons and Kudus, though, quality players. Xavi Simons excites me, but I just feel him in Tottenham seems to me like it's a bit of a square peg in a round hole. Is he going to play off the left wing or is he going to play in the centre? But when James Maddison comes back, what happens? Yeah, and I know they need competition. But in terms of what... You want your best players on the pitch at most times. And it's not like they have so much depth to the point where you're like, oh yeah, he shouldn't start or he shouldn't start. You have a Ben Johnson, you have Matthias Tell, you have Xavi Simons. And I think all of them competing for one spot, especially when Maddison comes back. Now, Xavi Simons is very technical. So is Mohamed Kudus. Mohamed Kudus, for me, is one of the most exciting players in the league. He needs to do better on his output. But in terms of how he plays, the way he goes about the pitch, the way he drives through the pitch, he excites players. And I love players that excite leagues. You know, not every player needs to have 30 goals. Not every player is a 30-goal player. Some players work well just taking the ball and creating for others. So João Paulinho as well ended up at Tottenham, which for me is really good because he now brings that solidity next to a Bentancur, next to a Xavi Simons, you know. So next to Madison. So he brings that bit of solidity. And even with him with a Papa Sarr or Bissouma, it's a very hard team to beat. They will go. They will do good. Tottenham will do good. Do I think they have the chance to finish in the top six? They could, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I think they will be a bold team fitting into the top six this season. But I rate Tottenham window maybe around I'll give them a 7 out of 10 strong because they deserve a bit of respect for how the window was going for them, and now them bringing in nice young players thinking about the future is not a bad look. So yes, people, it's been your boy Yaya, always bringing you great news. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications. So if you like this video, please comment below, and also please let me know what are the kind of videos you would like me to do, as you've been doing, so we can keep, as well as I've said it, bringing you great content going forward. Help me to get to 500 plus subscribers, 1,000 subscribers as quick as we can. Thank you. Take care. Have a good night, my people. Stay sexy and ciao.